Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Liam, and this video is just a purely motivational video, okay? All of the information is on my YouTube channel, it's on my Instagram, and if you want to get my help and get everything sort of put together in an easy to understand system, click below and you can join Triumph over Tinnitus 3. But here's the thing, guys. There seems to be something, maybe I do it too sometimes, in the human brain where, specifically in this situation with tinnitus, because if you have tinnitus, hyperacusis, pulsatile tinnitus, vertigo, and even some people now are helping to reverse their hearing loss. Now, I'm not saying if you were born deaf or you had someone stab you in the ear that you can fix something like that, but I'm talking something like people don't understand the importance of reducing things like non-native EMF, getting sunlight, doing things like not wearing fucking masks all day long, so you're restricting your oxygen, which you need oxygen in your ear to function. You want to reduce your adenosine triphosphate creation like this, put a mask on, okay? It's up to you what you do, but I'm just telling you the facts. You go to an ENT, back to the point I was making, you go to an ENT, you look online, you look at forums, you talk to your friends, you talk to your family, and all you hear is, oh, there's nothing you can do, tinnitus is for life, it's incurable, all the usual rhetoric, all the usual horseshit, all the usual unfounded opinions. That is all that this is, guys. When someone says to you, tinnitus is for life, you should instantly think opinion. And when someone says, oh, I've had tinnitus and I've had it for 5 years and it just doesn't go away. Well, what have you tried? Oh, well, I went to the ENT and they said there's nothing I can do. Well, then you've done nothing. You don't reserve the right to say that something is unfixable if you haven't tried anything. If you're relying on a medical system and a form of ENTs and ENTs is an otolaryngologist, ENT, neurotologist, psychologist, you name it, surgeon who got trained in what is to date the most corrupt, and we can see this now, the most corrupt medical establishment that's probably ever existed from what we can see is going on in the world now. If you're going to believe what they have to say about fucking anything chronic, sure, acute, yes, but chronic like tinnitus, all that, if you're going to believe what they say, you've got to reassess your values and your priorities, because you've got to take a step back, look in the mirror and wake up to yourself. Now, this is mean, but remember, I'm going to be the dad that you've never had and tell you to shut up and just look and use your brain, okay? Tinnitus is not for life. I mean, look at the plethora of testimonials that come pouring in. There's so many. It doesn't matter what causes your tinnitus, whether it's stress, whether it's a medication, whether it's a physical injury, whether it's literally being electrocuted. I have people who get it from viruses, such as the current virus going around, and the medication for that virus, and things like the herpes virus. You can fix all those things. But then you have to, the whole hair cell theory thing, I mean, it does my head in, and it's such a shame when people say, oh, well, you can't fix it because of your broken hair cells. Sure, hair cells can be broken, but prove to me that it causes tinnitus, not an association, okay? If you ask your ENT to prove it to you, not in an animal trial, but in a human trial, because it's completely ridiculous. There's so much to say here, okay? But the point is this. Tinnitus is not for life. Anyone who says it is a fucking idiot. They don't know what they're talking about. I don't care about their qualifications. If you watching now can't see that qualifications mean basically fucking nothing when it comes to medicine, then I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. So to circle back to my initial points, I'm kind of going all over the place here, because really when it comes to, oh, Liam, what do I do? There's nothing more to say. There is nothing more to say. It is all on my YouTube channel. It's all on my Instagram. And you just have to put in the time and effort to do it. I know you're scared. I know it's scary having tinnitus. I know it freaks you out. I know you don't know where to start, okay? But just do something. Do it for yourself, because you can have the life back that you want. Okay, you can have the life back that you had. Sure, it's going to be very silly of you to go back and do it 100% as you were doing it, because something you were doing caused your tinnitus. Whether it's alcohol, medication that you probably shouldn't have been taking, stress. But if you implement this advice, okay, that I'm giving you, and live a life that, look, the life that solves your tinnitus also at the same time reduces stress. If you cut out the coffee, if you cut out the toxic people, if you stop looking at blue screens all day long, if you just follow it, your stress and anxiety, this isn't a promise. I know you can't make these sort of medical promises online or anything, but it's fucking true. It is true. Some people have literal mental disabilities, or they have emotional problems and serious trauma. I'm not saying that changing your diet and getting sunlight is going to fix something horrible that happened in your past. But the fucking writing is on the wall with this stuff. If you look at the results in my course, look at the results from people following it, who actually follow it, it's amazing. One little bit of advice as well. I see a lot of comments of people who say, oh, well, I've done this and I tried a 2-day fast and I did this and nothing happened. Poor me. Guys, you got to have a little bit more grit. You got to have a little bit more, something in there if you're going to make this work. This is why people who make so much fucking money scamming people understand psychology. This is why it's so easy for the medical industry as it is now to be where it is now. Because nobody wants to do, or it's harder to do rather, the stuff that I advise. Because it's hard. You know what's easy though? This. Taking a pill. It's not going to get rid of tinnitus. There's never going to be a pill that's going to get rid of tinnitus. How is a pill going to get rid of parasites, get rid of toxic people, get rid of mold, change your diet, make you go to bed early, get you blue blockers, get some sunlight, get some exercise, do some stretching, the whole thing? It's not going to happen. It's absolutely impossible. It's never going to happen. Don't wait for that. Okay? Do something now. Guys, if you actually applied stuff safely and slowly, you could have silence by 2022. You could. You just could. It's a fact. But something is holding you back. I don't know what that is. Maybe you told your loser friends and family and they said, no, don't do that. That's silly. Do you like your friends and family? Do you like them? If you could, answer me this. If you have kids, or you're going to have kids, or you want to have kids, would you want them to turn out like your parents? If no, then why are you listening to your parents or your friends? Okay? Now here's a really hard question which you have to answer as well. If you have kids, or you want to have kids, or you're going to have them, would you want them to turn out like you? And I know that's harsh, and you think this is just me bullying you or being mean. Well, in a way it is. Because you have to ask yourself these hard questions, because you've got to be made of something. Getting silence is not always fast, it's not always easy, but it's possible. It's doable. You can do it. It's not about your fucking income. It's not about this or that, or I'm too old, or I'm too sick, or I'm too this. You're holding yourself back. You know that's not the reason you haven't got silence yet. I know it more than anyone. Whatever it is holding you back, whatever excuse you have, just stop. Your life is going to be so good when you have silence, when you fix your hearing, when the noise sensitivity is gone. You're going to almost... So in a way, I think people don't want to do this, or what's holding them back is that when they do get silence, they're going to be so pissed. Not at their ENTs, but at themselves for not doing it sooner, and they're going to look back at all the wasted time and things they turned down because of their tinnitus, when all along it didn't have to be like that. You see what I'm saying? It didn't have to be like that. So how much longer are you going to spend with tinnitus? How much more pain do you want to be in? Just follow my free advice. Do it safely, and I mean this, safely and slowly. One thing I see, unfortunately, there's different ends of the spectrum, right, is people who do it too fast, and that is also not a good idea. When people say, oh, I cut out everything and all I do is eat meat now. Well, who the fuck told you to do that? It wasn't me. Don't do that. Yes, vegetables do have salicylate, oxalates, phytoestrogens, lectins, all sorts of crap, goitrogens in them, which is just, guys, plants are not food. How many times do I have to say this? But they are medicine. But if you go off them too quickly, you're going to have things like oxalate dumps, and it's going to be awful, okay? And plus, if you've eaten plenty of plants, or nothing but plants, if you're a vegan, you probably have a shit ton of gallstones. So if you change to meat only, then your you're going to have these gallstones in your gallbladder and in your liver. You're going to get no bile through, and you won't even be able to digest the meat. So there's many steps to this. So just take it slow. You can have silence, okay? You can go back to the life you had before, but in a reasonable fashion, okay? So now I'm going to show you some footage of me cooking a steak, because that's all I really do now. I just cook steak, I work, I see some friends, I enjoy the sun in Tirana. You can do the same thing, all right? Tonight is Enough for Life. Have a great fun.